continuation of the chapter The Story of Village Palampur. Students, in the previous video we have studied about how the village Palampur is well connected with the neighboring villages and town. We have already studied that what all are the factors of production. Among the factors of production, we have studied about the 4 factors of production, students: land, labor, capital. There are 2 types of capital: the physical capital and working capital. Physical capital is also known as fixed capital. And the 4th, and that is the most vital factor of production that we people have and that engage and control all the rest of the 3 factors of production, that is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a human capital. So students, in the previous video we have already studied about all these factors of production one by one. And we have already seen that labor is the most abundant factor that is available as compared to the other factors of production. So now we are going to study about that of the story, in the story of village Palampur, that how the land is distributed, how the cultivation was done, who all would be cultivating the land, and what would be the life of the farmers living in village Palampur. So students, in the next slide you can see that land is fixed. In the previous video also we have studied that land is fixed. And when we are talking about the land is fixed, we can see land cannot be increased. So when we talk about the population living in a country, do you feel that the population is stagnant and it remain constant? No. So that means the population is increasing at a multiple rate. So when we're talking about when the population is increasing at a multiple rate, definitely their demands are also increasing. Their requirements are also increasing for the different goods and services. But we have one constraint is there, but in the land that we people have in India is 3.28 square kilometer of the land that we people have, million square kilometer of the land is available to India. That you have already studied in the geography first chapter. Student, land is fixed and it is a constant factor. We cannot increase the land. But how you are going to increase the production when you have the population is increasing but the land that you people have remains constant? Okay. We have already studied previous classes in the last video that most of the India's population depends on farming. It depends on agriculture. So when we are talking about agriculture, farming in Palampur was the main occupation of the people. You can see that 75% of the people, they totally depend, directly, indirectly, they depend on agriculture. Rest of the 1/4 of the population, they were engaged in different other activities, or you can call them non-farm activities. In the previous video, you have already studied about that we have farming activities and the non-farming activities. So here, for doing the farming activities, students, you need to have a land is required. People have tried to cultivate the land and to increase the land and to increase the production. But this would be possible only when you increase the land. But how you are going to increase the land? Yes, there must be some land which is lying unused, or there must be some waste land would be there. Yes, the people of village Palampur, they have started making the waste land, they have converted the waste land into a cultivable land, arable land. Wastelands of the village have been converted to cultivated land. Not only this, students, to increase the production and to meet the demands of the people and the requirement of the population living in village Palampur, there is a need to increase the land production. Cultivation production is required. Agricultural production is required to be increased. So for that, the people have tried that they are going to increase the wasteland. Wasteland of the village Palampur was used by the people to cultivate it. See students, when we talk about the land, see when we go and when we buy a milk, it is in liters. When we go in a market and we buy the cloth, it is brought into meters. So that means for every goods that we people buy and we purchase, there is a standard unit to buy it. Yes. For land also, to measure a land, there is a standard unit. Hectare. Hectare is the standard unit that is used by the people. See students, in local languages there are different standard units are there for the people using it. Okay, you can see that we have bighas. Land, it can be measured in bighas. And in the other local languages, gunta is also another important measurement or the standard unit that is used by the people. Gaj, land is measured. We have a 300 gaj or 400 gaj. You must have heard people talking about that. Means gaj is also one of the unit used by the localite people. See students, people have tried to increase the land, and to increase the land, we have the another slide. Okay. Students, we know that population was growing, and when population was growing, the demand were also increasing. Not only the goods and services, even to live, accommodation, there are living conditions also required, houses are also required, and to have more of the houses, land is required. If population would occupy the land for living, how they are going to cultivate on then that cultivated land would also be converted into foreign accommodation. So there is a great problem that how we people are going to increase the land in the different parts of the country. See students, in village Palampur, we have already seen that Gilbert Attony, he has done a research study on different villages, and he has taken one of the district, Bulandshahr of UP. He has taken to complete his study and to show the people that we can have such village, we can have such ideal village like Bulandshahr or like that town or that district. So he has created a story of village Palampur that because India is land of villages, and most of the villages that we people have, they are not as advanced, they are not as well connected, they are not as well developed. Infrastructural conditions are not as such good in the other villages of India, whereas it has been highlighted in the village Palampur. See students, when we are going to study about the village Palampur, we know that people living in the village, they are almost the farmers, and they grow different crops, and almost 75% of the population living in village Palampur, they are engaged in agriculture. So they grow different crops. So when we talk about they grow different crops, you can see that no land is left idle in Palampur. There was no such place which was left idle for in village Palampur. All land is brought under cultivation. During the rainy season, you can see that. Now we are going to discuss about the different cropping seasons. See students, we have different seasons are there, and people living in villages, their main occupation is cultivation. They do farming. when they do farming, they grow different crops in different season, because every season is not suitable for different crops. So every crop needs a different climatic condition, different temperature is required, different irrigation and rainfall is required. So the people living in Palampur, they generally grow in rainy season. They grow jowar and bajra. They grow jowar and bajra. And after harvesting the jowar and bajra, during the month of October and December month, in these 2-3 months, they grow the another crop. Okay, and this crop is easily ready almost in 3-4 months. Potatoes, they grow potatoes. And then we have in the winter season, they grow wheat. Okay, and when they are growing wheat, that is known as Rabi season. So when we are talking about the Rabi season, so we have 3 different seasons, students. Number 1, in the rainy season, we call it a Kharif season. Kharif crops. Whatever crops are grown during the rainy season, they are known as Kharif crops. Number 2, between the rainy season, after the rainy season and before the winter season, the crops that are grown, they are known as Zaid season. Z-A-I-D, Zaid season. Okay, about the Zaid season you are going to study in class 10. Okay, so I am just telling you that in the month of October and December, the people living in village Palampur, they used to grow the potatoes. Okay, so and the third important crop that we grow during the winter season, that is known as Rabi crops. R-A-B-I, Rabi crops. They grow Rabi crops. So wheat is the major crop that is grown during the winter season. So students, you can see that the people living in Palampur, they are growing 3 different crops in a year. But in India, we have some farmers, they just grow 2 crops in a year. Okay, so to make them aware that how they can make the best use and judicious use of the land, this story is created, and this story is narrated by Gilbert Attiny, that the people living in Palampur, when they can grow 3 crops in a year, the other people living in the country, in India or in the other parts of the country, they can also grow 3 different crops in a year, which simultaneously going to increase the income as well as the living standard of the people. So for that, you can see that we have 3 different cropping season. So we have number 1, Kharif season. Number 2, we have Zaid season. Number 3, we have the Rabi crops. Okay, Kharif crops, Zaid crops, and the Rabi crops. 3 different crops in a year is grown by the people living in village Palampur. So students, for getting the 3 different crops, you have already seen that these people, they grow these crops, and whatever is available to them, they keep it for themselves. They grow, they harvest, production is ready, and they keep it for their self-consumption. And after keeping for the self-consumption, whatever is left, remaining part of the production, they go to the market of Raiganj and they sell that production. And maybe Raiganj, or they go to the Shahpur and they sell that production there. To get the maximum production and a better production, the farmers living in village Palampur, they have the extra advantage. What was that extra advantage they have? Students, we have already seen that electricity was very early, it came in village Palampur. and almost the domestication and the other work in small scale industries and the houses at the other infrastructural development, the people were using electricity. So one such use that we people is highlighted in this story is the use of tube wells. As well irrigation facility if you have, definitely your production would be higher. You know that students, in India, the most of the farmers, they depend on traditional methods. Whereas the story of village Palampur is shown and is being narrated and it has been created to tell you that you should modernize the agriculture, to have the modern equipments and modern infrastructure to have a better production and better facilities for the lifestyle. So we have seen that many of the tube wells. Yes, government has initiated this, installing the tube wells. Few of the tube wells in village Palampur were installed by the government. And when the farmers have seen that okay, tube wells are really effective for irrigation and really it is giving and increasing the production, the farmers, private farmers, large farmers, medium farmers, they have spent money and they have also bought the tube wells and they have installed in their farms, in their fields to increase the production. So this is the way that we have a better irrigation facilities available in village Palampur. That means the people who used to depend on rainfall for irrigating the land. You know that rainfall is uncertain, it is erratic. It sometimes is come on a time, it is not coming on a time. So whatever you have, the seeds you have shown would be wasted. So you don't have to depend on rain. When they have installed the tube wells, now the farmers are at any time they can irrigate their lands. Almost 200 hectares of the land of village Palampur was irrigated by the tube wells. Students, in India, we have seen that majority of 40%, 50% of the land is irrigated through the tube wells. Still, there are many villages who still depend on rainfall for watering their lands and they keep waiting for rainfall or the monsoon to come for irrigating their lands. So students, tube wells has really played a very important role in modernizing the agriculture. So the another important question that we people have arise, can we grow more from the same piece of land? Can we really grow more more production? See student, when the question has arisen, ways by which one can grow more from the same piece of land. Yes, somebody said yes, okay. Yes, we can increase the production on the same piece of land. You know that land is fixed, you cannot increase the land and you cannot stretch the land as per your requirement. If the population increases, you cannot stretch the land and you can start using it. No, we don't have such facility. You cannot stretch a land and you cannot increase the land. So to increase the land, there are different other ways of increasing the production on a same piece of land in the same season. So for that, students, you can see that one such example is crop rotation. You keep rotating the crops. First you grow jowar and bajra, what the people village Palampur were doing it. After that, you know, the jowar and bajra, it is a fodder for the animals also. It is given to the animals to eat. Okay, it is fodder for them. So they have grown jowar and bajra. In the rainy season, after that they have grown potatoes, and after that in the third season they have grown the wheat. So that means 3 different crops or 4 different crops they were growing it. Not only that, they were growing once in a year, you can see that sugar. They used to grow the sugar cane also. Sugar cane plantation is done, and throughout the year they cultivate that, harvest in 1 year. That is a plantation. In 1 year that crop is ready. Sugarcane cannot be harvested in 3 months or 4 months. So sugarcane needs complete 1 year for a better harvest and for a better production. You can see that crop rotation, rotating the crops, is one such example that you can grow more on the same piece of land. See students, I will give you an example. If your mama keeps preparing same food, same veg and chapati to you, and all the 3 meals, if mama gives you that same vegetable and chapati, no changes in your diet chart, then how will you feel it? Would you keep eating the same amount of or quantity of number of chapatis every day in every meal? You will lost the taste. Okay. Definitely when you loses the taste, definitely the soil also loses the fertility if you keep using and growing the same type of crop, same crop in all the 3 seasons. Okay. So for that we have a crop rotation is done. We have already seen Kharif during the rainy season, Kharif crop is done, and after that Zaid season is there when we grow potatoes. See students, when we talk about India nowadays, this is a Zaid season is going on. Okay, so when we talking about the Zaid season, you can see that watermelons, muskmelons, cucumbers, they come in between the Zaid season. Okay, this is the time. This can be easily harvested in 3-4 months. Okay, this is the third crop that you have, and then you are going to have the winter season. After harvesting the Zaid crops, you can cultivate the third crop also. Okay, that is Rabi season. Okay, winter crops, Rabi crops. You can grow the winter season also. You can see that we have already seen here that with the help of better electric run tube wells have provided a better production in the country, and it has given that 200 hectares of the land was irrigated by the village Palampur with the help of tube wells, electric run tube wells. So students, after the crop rotation, we have the another important method that you can increase the production on the same piece of land. What? You have a better irrigation facilities available to you. Multiple cropping. Multiple cropping. That means in a same season, you can grow 2-3 crops. You can grow 2-3 crops. 1 crop, 2 crop, third crop. 1 crop, 2 crop, second crop. First crop, second crop, third crop. First crop, second crop, first crop, second crop. You can see that. That means in the same season you can grow more than 2 crops, more than 1 crop. To grow more than 1 crop on a same piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. So to retain the fertility of the soil, this is one example or one of the method or one of the way to increase the production on the same piece of land. So students, after this production, you can see that we have seen that the people living in the country, almost they are not, farmers are not as much educated. They are not knowing that the land is to be tested, soil is to be tested, its fertility is to be tested, which crop to be grown, at what time it is to be grown, when it is to be harvested, and what all other requirements of the land. So most majority of the farmers living in the country, they were engaged during 1960s, they were engaged in the traditional farming. And traditionally they used to have the bulls, okay, plowing the land, using the bulls for plowing the land. And then they used to broadcast the seeds, and then they keep waiting for the rain to come, okay. And not only that, and they keep other things and other nutrients is not added to the soil. Weedicides, that was also not done, and ultimately they keep waiting, land, the crop is ready, and they harvest it. Production was not as good, okay. So here we will talk about yield, Y-I-E-L-D, Y-I-E-L-D. Yield is measured as a crop produced on a given piece of land during a single season. Yield, how much it is measurement. Production, how much production you have done on the same piece of land in one particular season of the agriculture. See, whatever seeds that the farmers they used to do, they used to have a traditional seeds. They used to keep it from the old stock, whatever they have produced in the last season, they keep it, and whenever the next rainy season would come, that the same seeds they are going to use it, and they are going to broadcast it, they are going to sow that seed. Keeping for 1 year, that seeds may perish, may destroy, may spoil. So definitely, as you sow, so will you reap. Okay, this is one of the quote. जैसा बोओगे वैसा काटोगे. So if the quality of the seed would not be good, definitely your production would not be good. If your base would not be good, your building would not be as strong. Okay. So student, yield really plays a very important role in measuring the production. Okay. So yield is nothing but the production that we take in a season or on a given piece of land. So to avoid this problem, as the population was increasing, the government was really bit tensed that how we are going to meet the requirement of the population, how food security would be provided to the people. Population is increasing, but the production is not increasing. So people would die with hunger, without food. So there has to be a solution. For that, the government has tried on 3 different states. What experiment they have done? Okay, that will tell you later. Okay, now you can see that history of Green Revolution. Norman Borlaug. Norman Borlaug is one of the American scientists. He has a great interest. He was keen interest in the agriculture, and he always tried and done too many experiments to increase the production. Somehow he wanted to increase the production. He was also facing a lot of problem that different pests or insects that used to spoil the crops. So he wanted that there has to be a resistance for, or there has to be a disease-free production in America. Okay, and so he has from 1940s he has begun conducting the different research in Mexico. He has done, and then he has grown different varieties of wheat, and then you can see that it was a great success. He has achieved the great success in attaining the Green Revolution. What is a Green Revolution? That means green everywhere. We should have a greenery, agricultural production would increase, and there is all around different crops, multiple cropping. People are not dying because of hunger. So what is the green revolution? Green revolution was a period when the productivity of global agriculture increased drastically as a result of new advances. During this time, the farmers, they have used different insecticides to kill the insecticides, to kill the pesticides, and to get a better production, the people have used the chemical fertilizer, instant nutrient, and that is required to the soil to increase the productivity. That was done by the farmers. You can see that even in India, government has also tried the green revolution. In late part of the 1960s, the government has experimented this green revolution on 3 different states and different places. See, we need to have a soil fertility is required. So we have taken 3 important agricultural states. We have taken Punjab, Haryana, and Western UP. These 3 places were taken by the government of India, and they have started doing the experiment in agriculture. So when we are talking about the agriculture, our Indian farmers have also done the cultivation. Our Indian farmers have also done the green revolution, experimented it. And for that, you can see okay, our farmers, they have also done the experiment, what all they have used, what all the factors of agriculture they have done. You can see that high yield variety seeds, better quality of seeds that they have used, fertilizers, tractors, farmers, pesticides, better irrigation facilities through the canals, through the irrigation, or through the tube wells or pump sets, and then better electricity facility is used, has really enhanced the production of agriculture. You can see that pesticides and the fertilizer, different things being used. These are the modern inputs of agriculture. To get a better output, you need to have a modern inputs are required for agriculture. So when you can see that better irrigation facility, high yield variety of the seeds, better quality of the seeds, high yield variety, the high yield, high production varieties of the seeds were used by the farmers to have a better production and require more amount of water and chemical fertilizer. See, I'll give you an example. See, when you are doing using all such pesticides, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, the soil needs more of irrigation is required. More of irrigation. Take an example. See, students, when you eat spicy food, you feel more thirsty. Okay, that means you are not taking it is added, more of the spices added to your taste. You need more, you feel more of the water to drink. Okay, same manner, soil also needs more of irrigation. When you are using the high yield variety seeds, when you are using chemical fertilizer to dissolve that, so that it dissolves into the soil. Okay, so all these inputs, modern farming inputs you can call it, that has given you the modern farming. all together, using all these things, all these inputs, the production that we do or the method that we people are doing and cultivating, this is known as modern farming method. This is known as modern farming method. In the modern farming method, we are not using the traditional ways and methods. We are not using the bulls to plow the land. We have tractors, we have harvesters for cutting the crops, and threshers are there for separating the waste of the crops. So we have high yield varieties and chemical fertilizers, and 3-4 times we irrigate the land. Weedicide is also done. Pesticides is done to save the crops and the plants from the pests, and insecticide is also done. If anything depend, if any insects are there on the soil, that spoils the soil. All these methods are used in modern farming, and then you can see the production is drastic. Okay, you can see that the yield of wheat that we used to grow earlier through the traditional methods on a same piece of land, on a 1 hectare of land. 1 hectare of land, you can see that the wheat we used to grow earlier was 300 kg, 1300 kg. 1 quintal and 300 kg. That means 1300 kg of wheat we used to produce earlier on 1 hectare of land. But after using all these inputs and having be using the modern farming methods, we have how much production? Surprise! 3200 kg of the wheat you will produce by doing the modern farming method. 1300 was earlier, and now 3200. You can see it is almost triplet. Almost triplet. So when this experiment was done in Haryana, Punjab, and in the western parts of UP, the production has drastically went up, and this is a miracle. And in other parts of the countries also, we have seen that the farmers have started using it. The government has experimented, so that we will just check it out, okay, whether it really works or not. But it was amazing. The awesome results were given by the modern farming method. So definitely, to meet the food security in the country, students, we need to change ourselves. In place of the traditional farming, we need to do the modern farming methods. So modern farming methods really plays a very important role in increasing the production. Now, the another important question that we people have is, will the land sustain? Will the land will survive? See, the definition of sustainability you have studied in class 9. Using the nature, using the goods without harming the nature and without compromising with the needs of future generation. If you're doing it, if you're developing it, that development is sustainable development. See, we are developing every year, every season, or in every century, there is an development taking place, progress is taking place. Do you really feel that progress is sustainable? So here we are not talking about the sustainability of ours, we are talking about the sustainability of the land. If we keep increasing the using the chemical fertilizer, pesticides, insecticide, high yield varieties, more of the irrigation, do you really feel that there would be land would sustain? Lands are associated with the loss of soil fertility. Yes, due to this, when we people are using the chemical fertilizer instead of organic farming, or instead of the organic manure, Earlier, farmers they used to use in a traditional farmers, what the farming that was done by the farmers earlier, they used to use the cow dung, animal waste or domestic waste. They used to use it in manuring the soil. But as the modern farming came, we have started using more of the chemical fertilizer, we have started more of the pesticides. So that shows that the pollution, more of the pollution of the land is taking place. Land degradation. The quality of the land is degrading. The soil is started losing its fertility. See, students, I'll give you an example. Suppose when we go to a doctor, doctor gives us a dose that okay, these are the 2 medicines you need to take it if you have a cough or a fever. But that doesn't work. He give a higher dose. Okay. Then for a few days it is okay. Then again we are suffering with the same problem. Then he gives a higher and higher doses and more doses. That means the dose that you were taking earlier, that has lost its use, that has lost its function. Okay, so when we keep adding the chemical fertilizer, more of irrigation, it also loses its hope. And now to maintain it, we need to have a better quality of fertilizer or higher doses of the chemical fertilizer to maintain the fertility of the soil. So we have seen that sustainability really doesn't work if we are doing a development. Many of the scientific research says that if you keep using the fertilizer, more of the irrigation is required. Suppose earlier we were doing 3 times we were irrigating the land. Now you are doing, after using the chemical fertilizer, you need to irrigate the land 5 times. So more of the water is also required for irrigating the land. Repeatedly we are irrigating the land, and continuous irrigation of the land also uses the fertility. There is a loss in the land, and fertility of the land also reduces. So not only this, we know that land is a natural resource and we should be very careful in using it. From many years, we have seen that when this green revolution is associated with the loss of fertility of the land, you can see that land will not sustain. Land will definitely not sustain if we people are not going to use the organic manure, and if the natural fertility of the soil would not be retained. You can see that. Green revolution, and you can see that when the land or the farmers, they are not able to cultivate more, they are not able to increase the land, they are not able to increase the production, then many of our Indian farmers, they have committed suicide. Okay? So this is really a great problem for Indian farmers, because the farmers that we people have in the country, they are of different types. So when we are talking about the different types of the farmers, one such story I'll tell you. See students, in 1960, Govind, he is a farmer, and how much land he has? He has 2.25 hectare of land, and that is unirrigated land. He is not having that facilities, tube facilities or such facilities. With the help of his 3 sons, he has 3 sons, father, 3 sons and the other family members. Cultivated the land, though they didn't live very comfortably, the family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from one buffalo that the family possessed. Some years after Govind's death, now Govind dies, the father, he died. Okay, what would happen? That the land that they had, how much land they were having? 2.25 hectare land that they had. Students, you if you know it, we have right to inheritance. Right to inheritance. If father dies, the property of the father gets divided into the children. Okay, so he has 3 sons. So definitely the 2.25 hectare of land would get divided among the 3 sons. How much land? One would come now. Now one son would possess how much land? 0.75 hectare, not even one complete hectare. Okay. So you can imagine, that means the size of the land holding has reduced. On that 0.75 hectare of land, he is going to build a house. He is going to live with his family, because that is a separation is done. So they are going to live on a house. And how much land they will be there. Okay. So that means the land that they have would reduce. Definitely production would also reduce. Modern farming inputs he cannot use. Tractors he cannot use, because the size of the land is very small. Production. So this is one of the basic problem that we people have in India. Right to inheritance. When property gets divided, land gets divided among the people. Okay. So students, in the next slide we have you can see that what type of farmers that we people have. The fourth question we have: how is land distributed between the farmers of Palanpur? Corner of a village, and they all were landless. They were not possessing any land. They used to work on others' land. Large farmers or the medium farmers, they used to hire them. These farmers, big farmers, they used to hire them to work on their land for the cultivation, and they used to work and they used to give the wages to them. Wages were given them in kinds or in cash. Either you give a money, or wheat you will produce, I'll give you the wheat in place of the money. Okay, I'll give you 5 kg, 10 kg of the wheat, that the wages that you have. Okay, and then you have a small farmers. Small farmers, they are the or marginal farmers. They have less than 2 hectare of land. Small farmers, less than 2 hectares of land. Then we have medium farmers. We have medium farmers. The farmers who have more than 2 hectare of land and less than 10 hectare. More than 2 hectare, less than 10 hectares. Large farmers who have more than 10 hectares of land. So you can see the picture that is there. Yeah, some big farms are there. These big farms that belongs to the large farmers, and then you can see that small tiny farms that belongs to the small farmers, less than 2 hectares. You can see that this is a smaller in size, medium farmers. So that means the land is distributed on such a small piece of land. You cannot use the modern farming method, tractors, harvester, threshers, combiners. All this you cannot use it. So students, you can see that this slide, these pictures I have given, see, you can see here, you have to identify whether they are doing a traditional farming or modern farming. Traditional farming or modern farming. For traditional farming, you can write down TF. For modern farming, you can write down MF. You can see the picture and identify. Another picture that you have is, you can see there is a pie chart given here. This pie chart shows blue color and yellow color. Okay, so blue color, this purple color shows the small farmers. You can see that students in village Palanpur, 36% of the small farmers, they cultivate 80% of the land, or 80% of the land number of the farmers. 80% of the land is cultivated by the small farmers, and the rest you can see that yellow, 20% of number of the farmers, they possess 64% of the land. 64% of the land of the Palanpur. 20% of the farmers possessed 64%, but they are not doing the cultivation. Whereas 80% of the farmers, they possess 36% of the land in village Palanpur. So students, we have studied about the land is fixed, how the land will sustain, and how we can increase the production. We have three different methods: crop rotation, multiple cropping, modern farming. These are the three methods you can do you can grow the production on a same piece of land. We have different standard units are there. Hectare is the standard unit. Okay. So here you can see that student. Assignment. See the assignment. Solve this assignment and send it by Thursday. I am repeating it again. Send it by Thursday, not later than Thursday. Okay. You have seen 16 questions here we have, and till then, students, stay safe, stay happy, keep learning. Goodbye.